me know when you can see.
I am good.
Okay, and I'll put some low-key vibes on.
Sounds good.
Okay, so a couple of general overview things, and I'm gonna be honest, I still don't feel entirely comfortable with the last phase, but we'll talk about that more specifically when we get there. The last phase is finicky, and it really depends on whether or not you're assigned to the mirror group or not. But so P1, depending on how you're going to be soaking, I don't know if your guild's going to do it this way, but as you've probably seen a million times, like I end up getting 0 stacks. 0 stacks lets you pump during what's it called, blood price. It lets you pump a little bit after the walk of shame thing, so you can just stand there and blast. So the general way that I've found over all of my pulls for it to be really comfortable is combusting right off of the rip. Almost, not really. Like you want to press combustion like 1 second into the fight almost.
Okay.
And the reason for that is like the way that the cleansing pain ads come out, and we were experiencing it really badly yesterday, is they'll come out and they come out and there's like, they hit like a wall of lag because there's so much fucking AoE going on. And that 1 extra second, a lot, like you'll see, so like I don't know if you've scrubbed through this kind of stuff, but like the first tick of your shifting power will hit, and even though there's like 10 ads around you, it'll only hit 1 target, which is Sire, because it hasn't registered that all the ads are there. It's fucking weird. I don't know if that's what it is, but that's what it seems like. So you'll see like I hard cast the pyro here, but I'm casting it like almost a little late into the fight. Like the pull's already happened and the pyro hasn't gone off yet. So then you pop your badge, you go into your immediate combustion here, depending on whether you're crit or not. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to notice that the timing of this cleansing pain comes out. Like he's going to start casting it and you're just going to be spamming instants. What you want to do here is try and refresh IC right as, so it's so hard to scrub through Twitch VODs.
I know.
Let's go through it again. I'll go through it in slow-mo.
That might help.
Jesus fuck. Okay, so cleansing pain happens, and these little red pools here are the ones that are like those are the ads that they're coming out. You'll see I have a fire blast coming up. Like what you want to do here is try and refresh your IC and cast shifting power immediately, so that you have like a full duration of Infernal Cascade going into your shifting power. That way you don't have to like, because you're gonna probably have an instant cast pyro, so and your shifting power is like 4 seconds, the IC is 5, so you'll refresh it right away and you'll try to get, did I just skip in time? Okay, I'm good. I don't even know how I'm explaining this to you, because you're gonna experience the lag I'm talking about, and you're gonna see like all of this talk about this specific opening, it's gonna be wasted because you're gonna miss like 5 globals due to latency.
Gotta love Blizzard servers.
Yeah, so there's like on our specific cleansing pain 1, there's like 22 targets. On some pulls I'll hit 1 target for my first one. It's really fucking annoying, but that's the difference between you pulling like 30k on an opener and you pulling like 15k. So that happens. Okay, so after this first initial combustion comes off, depending on how you're assigned to soak or not, like if you're doing the same thing I'm doing, which is trying to reduce your stacks as soon as possible, it'll most likely be the same thing for you. But the really important thing here is the same thing as heroic, is you want to try and farm your combustion back as soon as you can. So
because you need it for the next,
because you need it because you need it for the next, you need it not for cleansing pain 2, you need it for cleansing pain 3. So blood price comes out here, I'm assigned to soak this one, so you'll see like if your night hunters are in shit spots, you're gonna have to run and stuff, but ideally you want to be able to try and get as much downtime as possible. If that means blinking to the floor, do it. In this cleansing pain here, you're gonna want to drop your second ROP, and you're gonna want to proc DC. DC is gonna come back up off of cooldown right as soon as this next cleansing pain happens. So you'll want to get your disciplinary command out there. And then this is just like farming fireball. You don't even have to flame strike here. I think I do, but ideally what you want to do is pump the boss with pyros and fireballs and fire blasts. And then this, I found the best way to do it is like if you have a warlock that's putting a gate down, like use that what's it called?
The macro.
Yeah, the macro, so that you can focus it and then just blink over to it when Night Hunters are done. And here you're just trying to fireball as much as possible. Okay, so while Sire is casting Ravage, you can sit here and cast Fireball. You don't have to leave right away. Sometimes you'll see me like I sit here and I'll farm a Fireball and I'll port as it's going off. It's just like a super gimmicky way of trying to get an extra Fireball off. So in my head, I know I'm safe with Combustion. If I get to this side and I'm like sub 15 seconds, I feel like I can get Combustion back pretty easily. But if you're at like 20 seconds or above, there's no chance you're getting Combust back before the next Cleansing Pain. So the priority here is if you have Combust back, you want to be doing your shifting power and Combust like you did in the first cleansing. But the trick here is that you're not going to have Fire Blast charges because you've been using them super aggressively to get it back. So you're going to go into like a gimmicky Combust, like a shitty Combust with shifting power, and you'll be able to get 2 IC like out of your shifting power. But you know, make sure I guess the important part here is try and proc Disciplinary Command while you're sitting here in this Cleansing Pain, and then try to just get your Combustion back. So like here he's casting it, I'm 6 seconds off. You'll see I'm like super aggressive with Fire Blast just to pop Combustion sooner, but like this pull I didn't end up getting it off because I got fucked. So like I'll waste that instant cast on a Flame Strike and I'll go into shifting power. I have 0 stacks of Infernal Cascade because I have no Fire Blasts. In a perfect scenario, all your Fire Blasts or all your Fireballs and Pyros crit, and you go into this phase with like 2 or 2.5 stacks of Fire Blast. That's like the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you can combust consistently here. And you'll notice that your shifting power timing, like sometimes it'll be 1 second off. The change you'll have to make is like popping it sooner for your first shifting power, which is in Cleansing Pain 1. And you'll make those adjustments on the fly, like to your, like you'll feel it out and you'll see like I need to just pop it a little bit sooner. So hopefully you get to 0 stacks here. It's really fun. You just get to sit and blast the boss, and this is just you fireballing and doing whatever. This part's just simple, literally like heroic. So Kleins, nothing going on. You don't have to farm Combustion back relatively fast here. You can kind of just do your normal shit. There's no rush. I'm assigned to Combust on the last Cleansing Pain, which is Cleansing Pain 5, I think. Or 6. I think it might be 6.
Probably looks like 6.
It's the last one before we go down. It's the one right before we phase him during his Ravage cast. I think it's 6, yeah. So my Combust will be back by then. There's no rush. Sometimes, depending on your strategy, what will happen is you'll be told to hold your Combustion for the down phase. That's totally fine. It really depends on what your group needs and like how much damage you have. Osiris's Combustions, I'll explain his really quick because that's what you might be assigned to too. Osiris combusts the 4th Cleansing Pain, the first, 4th, and he saves his 3rd Combustion for the Sincere downstairs. If you're assigned to use your Combustion downstairs, you won't be popping 1 up here. You'll use 2 and that's it. So like me and Osiris alternate our Combustions. Like we'll both do first. He'll hold his 2nd Combust for the 3rd, for the 4th Cleansing Pain. I'll use mine on the 3rd, and I'll use mine here. This is the one he has Combustion right now, but he's holding it for Sincere. So it depends on what your group calls for. But if you're assigned to this one, you're probably gonna end up wanting to pump the boss with it because you're gonna lack P1 damage for a little bit, and then as you get more comfortable in P1, you'll use it mostly to cleave. And yeah, that's it. So this is like you want to phase Sire here while he's casting Ravage. So you'll see us holding CD sometimes. Like ideally, you want to phase him to 70.5 while he's casting that. And then the Walk of Shame comes out, and then if you have 0 stacks, you can DPS here. And there's a weird fucky thing with Shimmer or Blink or anything here is if you blink while you're flying, like while he's pushing you to the wall, it'll put you into the wall, even though you're facing Sire. So the strat that I've found is like you can cast a Scorch while he's throwing you back at 0 stacks. And if you blink as soon as your tippy toes touch the ground, you can get the Scorch off with your shimmer. So you'll see I'm going to cast Scorch here, and I shimmer right away and I get the Scorch off. It's like a gimmick. Like, you don't have to do that. I'm just trying to like maximize it, you know. But if you shimmer before you hit the ground, you will blink into the wall 10 times out of 10. There's no way to avoid it. So just like wait until you hit the floor.
Your screen is still showing WoW on your stream, by the way.
Oh, is it? No. Yeah. Fuck. Sorry, chat. Shit. Okay, well, hopefully people understood what I was saying. And we'll probably recap anyway. But anyway, so let me rewind 2 seconds.
Yep.
So yeah, always wait to shimmer. But when you hit the ground, then you can shimmer safely. If you shimmer while you're flying, you're gonna blink yourself into a wall, and then you have to like run and Scorch, which wastes damage. Like, you want to plant your feet and just cast fireballs during that down phase. So like, he ports, you can just, you know, chill, do whatever. He's gonna push you, and then as soon as you hit the ground, shimmer, and then start doing damage.
Okay.
You probably already know this. You can't. A heating up proc will expire by the time you hit the floor. So you either go into the down phase with a hot streak or nothing. Yep. Because a heating up proc will expire. So if you can hold a pyro while you're going down, and then you can like pyro the Ramonia for like your of the hunt proc or whatever it's called there from fucking Karain, that's fine. Yep. If not, just you ignore it and you go down. Like, this is gonna expire by the time at the floor. There's no point.
Yep.
Okay, so since you're arranged, you're gonna be hitting Sincere. Sincere always spawns to the left of Ramonia, like this way.
Yep.
You have time here to proc DC. So you're proc DC, and then you're gonna hit Sincere. If you're assigned to combust here, you're just gonna combust like Osiris does. If not, you're gonna just drop rune, and you're gonna just blast Sincere with whatever you have.
All right. Dodging
orbs is something you will start to get more ballsy with. Like, I sometimes like just sit there and wait until I really have to move, because the hitbox is really small. Like, you don't have to really be far away from them. You can kind of just chill right next to them. You don't have to move. If you're in Scorch, you can do whatever. Puddles will come out generally before you kill your Sincere, so you'll have to move at some point. And then depending on like how fast you kill Sincere, you'll have the silence orbs come out. You're gonna have to migrate to where Denathrius is gonna port to, which is all the way on the bridge over there. He will do his Racking Pain cast, and then he grips you 2 seconds later. If you can get close to him before the Racking Pain goes off, you can kind of like pump a pyro into him or whatnot. But while you're progressing, you're probably not going to have time to blink over there because it's going to be really tight. So Racking Pain goes off, and then he grips you. If you shimmer or use your fucking soul shape while he's gripping, you will be inting because you can't make the fucking lock gate if you're assigned to go up there, which I'm sure you are.
Okay.
So when Racking Pain goes off, that's a sign that you just don't want to use shimmer or your soul shape at all. If you use it while he's casting it, or his grip, if you use that while he's gripping, you're gonna fuck it up. You won't be able to make it. So he's gonna grip you. This is generally where I pop mirror images, and this is the reason I do it is because you're gonna take a significant amount of damage when you're on that platform. You can mitigate it with mirror images, and you can also mitigate it with alter time. So what I do personally is I mirror images. He grips you. I will try to proc DC here because you're not gonna have much time, and I'll explain that in depth in a second. You want to pop mirror images here. You want to pop your disciplinary command here. You're gonna take the lock gate, and you have like a 1 or 2 second window to pop badge, your potion, and alter time, and set up your combustion. And the reason the timing is so tight is because if you delay that like sequence of events too long, you won't be able to fit in your shifting power after your combustion is done without having to cancel it or blink out of the range of the boss, because she does the massacre.
Oh, right.
So you'll see I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna pop potion, pop badge, and I pop alter time when I'm in position, and then I'm gonna go right into my combustion rotation. And it's super tight because massacre comes out at like, I guess the boss with our DPS it comes out at like 45%, but you won't have time to drop Rune of Power after your combust. You're gonna do combust, and you're gonna go right into shifting power because massacre's coming, and you're gonna see the lines are already coming out. So while I'm mid shifting power, like you have to move. Like as soon as it's done, you have to move. If you drop rune, you're gonna eat a massacre to the face because it spawns on where you're standing, right?
Okay.
So shifting power, and then you move, and then you'll save your rune that you were gonna use for when the boss grips you. So this is depending on the other team killing their ad. You're gonna get puddles, and then you're gonna get a second pair of puddles when Gloom Veil dies.
All right.
So you kill your ad. Tank should have Denathrius in the middle. He grips you. Puddles should spawn. You go through the gate, and then this is gonna be rinse and repeat until phase 3. So you go through the gate. Impales come out. Impales are the hardest hitting fucking ability in the game that I've ever seen. They truck. If you used Alter Time where I do, which is on Gloom Veil, it's really gonna be tight for your Alter Time if you get targeted with Impale. So what I tend to do is come over here because you're gonna drop them in the back anyway.
Yep.
If you get targeted by Impale, you're in a safe spot. And the important thing to note about Alter Time here is like you don't want to alter if you get targeted by Impale and then stand where your altar is because it leaves Rancor on the ground, which fucking hurts.
Right, it leaves the
so whenever you alter with Impale, you need to move like 3 or 4 or 5 feet away from your Alter Time thing so you don't fuck yourself.
Okay. Yep.
So I didn't get alter here. The only thing to note is that if you're standing where the Impales are, just always watch where the sword's gonna be. You can stand next to them. Just make sure you're not gonna get fucked by the Impale. See, like I was close, but I didn't get hit. But I died yesterday to that, like standing in the range of the sword. So just make sure you know the pattern.
Okay.
For progress, you're probably gonna be focusing ads here because boss damage is probably secondary here. You want to kill the ads. I mean, priority damage is the boss here, but for progress sake, you're probably gonna be killing the ads.
Yep.
This is a really hectic phase here because you're killing both ads and you're getting massacred at the same time. I wouldn't focus on damage here. I would just like literally scorch spam brainlessly and move your fate.
Okay. All right.
Both ads die. You go through the gate. Same thing. This is your 4th combustion. If you're not combusting Sincere, this is your 4th combustion.
Okay.
I think Osiris's combust is up here too. I'm not sure. He might save it. If you're doing the combusts like I am, this is going to be your next combustion. If you're combusting the Sincere, you'll have to tell me when you get to it if this is your combust or not. I think Osiris combusts here anyway. So just blanketly, this is your 4th combust. So this is like kind of cleave damage. I choose to AoE damage here because the ads are all stacked on top of each other. And keep in mind, Ramonia and Denathrius share health. You're double dipping on the damage from doing Ramonia Denathrius damage. So if you're doing AoE cleave here, it's actually pretty strong. If you're missing boss damage, you might just say like pop your CDs on Denathrius, but I choose to do like a full AoE burn here. It sucks because if you get targeted by Impale, you have to do your Combust Rotation and do your Alter Time and move out of it and whatever. So try to deal with that. It sucks. Hopefully you don't get targeted by Impale here. But you'll see I altered here and I port back right next to it.
I just dropped you to 7%.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Just make sure you're not standing in Rancor when you alter time back because it really fucking hurts.
Oh, okay.
It's really rough.
Yeah.
If you're not above 65% health, with Impale you're dead immediately, or you're popping caught, guaranteed.
Yeah. Okay.
So those ads should die fairly quickly. You'll move over to these ads, cleave these down. This should just be boss damage at this point. And this one's really easy. The ads die like one by one, so massacre and puddles on the ground should be fairly easy to handle here. I didn't mention this, by the way. Standing in between the ads, like if you're standing between the two Kabbalists, don't do it. You're gonna get hit by Racking Pain, and Racking Pain makes you take like crazy amounts of damage and grace from everything. So like if you fuck up one, like Impale with Racking Pain on you, you're just insta dead. You're just done. You're just no surviving that. It's happened before. It sucks. Okay, so he grips you again. Go through the mirror, and then here is pure boss damage. You don't give a fuck about the Kabbalists. They're gonna die to natural cleave. The goal here is to get Denathrius. Like you're gonna get here eventually, but the goal here is to get Denathrius to like 40.5 is when he phases, but you want to get him like in this mirror before you go back. You want to get him to like 42, 41.5 is like ideal.
Okay.
So I don't think we did it on this pull, but Ideally, you want to get him pretty low here. So just watching your feet, killing Cabalist one by one. You can choose to hit Ramonia while he's in melee range here if you want to. It's whatever you want. Just keep in mind he does, you know, on different sides of the platform, he'll go for Impale, so you won't get cleave. If you are cleaving, just keep that in mind. But you can hit Ramonia here. It's totally fine.
All right.
Okay, so Denathrius does his grip again. You go through the gate, or the mirror, and this is where your groups separate. So this is where you'll be assigned the down phase or the up phase. If you're assigned to melee group like me, the goal here is to stay near the mirror. If you're the ranged group and the boss is low enough, your raid leader should just tell you to run and keep running all the way to the melee group, because the melee group is going to phase the boss while the ranged group runs into their position. So once the Denathrius hits 40.5, he phases. Boom, you run through the mirror. And if you're in this group, your goal here is to just pop Combust as soon as you possibly can. You can use your shimmers. You shouldn't have any used at this point. Your soul shape to get in there, pop DC. And then as a mage, what's really cool is you can sit in the fucking back is your melee group, but you're ranged. You can sit here and pop Combust. And then when he does his shattering bullshit knockback, you can alter it so that you don't have to move.
Okay.
So like you're safe here. You can just pop Combust, you alter. He does the knockback, you port back. Mine broke. For some reason, you'll notice it breaks for whatever reason.
Okay.
Mirror group, down group, melee group. Your knockback or your blood price throws you forward. So keep that in mind. And the knockback throws you forward. Everything is reversed. Okay. You want to get shifting power off after the blood price. So like you'll pop Combust. You go back. You'll pop Combust. He'll do his blood price.
Yep.
You won't have time to do much before the blood price. He'll suck you up. And ideally, if you have shimmer, you shimmer down to the floor and you use shifting power. The first set of orbs go out. You'll assign the orbs to how your raid leader does it. Yep. And then the entire premise of this fight is to never come in contact with anyone on the opposite realm, because you get insta-killed. Yeah. So you're always doing this dance of like rotating around each other. So like you'll drop orbs to the other side, that you'll drop orbs counterclockwise and you'll run clockwise, so that the groups can like rotate and soak their respective orbs. As a mage in the melee group, it sucks. Like you always have to scorch and run into melee range to soak orbs. You don't have to all the time. Like if you just dropped an orb and you're low health, don't soak. Just like chill. But generally you want to make sure that you're not standing in ranged and people are going to come in contact with you from the up group, because you're going to fuck them. So like you want to try and like follow the boss basically.
Okay.
There are downtimes here. You can start to cast fireballs. Like he's going to throw me here through the boss, and I know he's going to, so you can preemptively cast a Scorch, and then you can switch to fireballs and just kind of stay put in camp. You don't have to be, you don't like in this phase here. Like the important thing is try to plant your feet and cast fireball as much as you can. Like if you don't have to move, don't move. You know? Okay. Second set of orbs is coming out. You're going to go and place them, and then you're going to go rotate and soak your orbs. In a perfect world, when you get comfortable with the boss as a raid, the boss is sub 30 here, and you're just scorching, which is amazing. You have constant crits.
Yep.
Shattering Pain comes out. He throws you, and then this is the bait. So you'll probably go over this when you get here. Essentially, what we're doing here is we're baiting the massacre so that we can kind of avoid everything efficiently. So you'll see that the ranged group is stacked behind us and melee is baiting towards the ranged. So I'll explain why I'm combusting here in a bit. But so when you bait, the orbs come out at the same time. This is the first overlap. You're going to run with the group, and the person with the orb is going to drop it as we're kind of running out as a group together. He's going to go off on his own, and he's going to drop it by himself. And we're all going to kind of do this dance where we avoid massacre and rotate at the same time. You're going to come into melee and you'll do the thing. There's an immediate shattering pain that happens right away. You want to make sure that you don't get knocked off the platform there, because it can be sketchy if the orbs are dropped really shit.
Okay.
And then if you're down group, this is when blood price happens. So up group ends up lusting way before this, but down group, you want to wait to lust until this happens, because this is your biggest like window of downtime where you have nothing going on, this is when you lust and you give everyone in the melee group like an advantage because they're just sitting here pumping the boss. There's really nothing going on for a little bit here. Nothing that matters, at least.
Okay.
So let me rewind before we skip it. So yesterday I was experimenting with combusting during the first overlap. And the reason for that was that I was noticing that I was holding combust way too long. I was waiting for the lust, basically.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, you're holding combust for like a solid minute there, almost.
Yeah.
Not quite, but almost a minute. I figured if I'm gonna combust here, even if it's scuffed, I still feel like it's worth, because by the time lust is off cooldown, like when we lust, I will have another combust come back up, and you're gonna run out of rune of power here anyways. There's no point. There's no way that you can avoid that if you bust here. But it felt like I was doing more damage when I combusted here.
Okay.
Rather than saving it for lust. So like you get a full extra combustion off, I guess it feels like, but they're kind of wonky because you're not like, normally I'd lust after this blood price. Like I would lust and I'd combust right after this happened, and I would just sit there and plant my feet and get a really good combustion off. But
yeah,
you know, like you have to. There's constant movement here. There's nothing you can do about it.
And it's like the seismic on generals where you either get fucked or you don't.
Yeah. The thing is, there's no moments here where you can sit in your full rune of power. Like right here is probably the only time right now, because we're doing the bait thing. But holding combustion for that long is like almost entirely pointless. Okay. So anyways, I was just experimenting. I want to explain it. So after that blood price happens and you lust, you get the knockback. Your down group, well, this is for both. If you're up group, you're going to be stacked on blue marker where that is now. If you're down group, you're going to be stacked on the boss. This is the shitty overlap. This is what takes the most time to get a hang of. This is what took us the most time in P3. Okay. So ignore why I'm standing there. I'll explain it after. Here you get Massacre, you get Ravage, and you get Orbs at the same time. The first time you see P3 is probably going to be not this phase. The first time you really get to P3 and it's this phase, you'll understand how shitty of an overlap is. So the way that this works is up group will take a lock gate from blue to orange, and they're going to run all the way back where you can't see them. They're off screen over here on the right.
Okay.
Once they gate, the melee group is going to try and get safe and run to like yellow orange, but we can't move until they move. So once the massacre happens, let's ignore why I'm here for a second. I'll explain it after. Okay. So bait's going to happen. So you're going to see this group here, blue group is up group. Once the massacre goes out, Osiris is going to call. He's going to say gate. Everyone's going to gate to the other side. Usually, well, I missed it, but anyway, you saw it momentarily. They're all going to gate to the thing here. The melee group is going to basically use every immunity possible, bop everything they can, and they're going to try and run and just stay alive. The goal is to stay alive there. Orbs don't necessarily matter because they're going to be easily placed where they need to be because it's relatively close. Ranged orbs, where they gated to, they're going to port them all the way to the right side. There's a frame. I can find it. Okay, it's close. I'll show you. I'll pause it on it. The one frame. Okay, here. So up group is porting to, you saw before, like next to orange. All of the space behind orange is where up group's going. You can literally run anywhere you want as long as it is not back there. You can blink forward, you can blink to the right, you can walk past star. It doesn't matter what you do. The goal is to stay alive. So I choose, and I'll tell you why I'm altering there. I found the easiest way to avoid all of that bullshit is to literally run in advance. You're looking at your Sinister Reflection timer. This is too far. Hold. Okay. The reason I am standing here, once they gate to here and they run to the right, this entire section is clear. I know that Ravage is going to cover this third of the platform,
Yep.
And I know that everything past star is safe. So I can alter here and immediately ice block and be in position knowing that I'm safe. All you have to ice block for here is the knockback. If you're safe from Massacre, the only thing you care about is knockback. So I put my altar here at like 4 seconds, ideally. I think I put it a little bit early here, but ideally at 4 seconds, you're popping your altar here. Even earlier if you can. You're popping altar, you're coming to melee range, you're baiting the Massacre. The top group's gonna gate. So I alter and immediately block. And you'll notice when the Ravage goes off, I'm completely safe. All I'm waiting for is Massacres. I cancel block and I'm in position. So here, this orb we're soaking now is where the range group was, the top group.
Yep.
That's the one we're soaking. Ranged group is where the lock gate is, and they rotate kind of towards purple. To the left of purple, I think. But anyway. This is like by far the messiest part of the fight. After that happens, it's a free win as long as people just stay alive and don't get knocked into bullshit. Knockback's gonna send you through the boss. It's gonna push the range group back. The next set of orbs that come out, you are not soaking. You are leaving them up and you're burning the boss.
Okay.
No, that's not true. I don't think. No, that's not true. It's not true. Okay, so this set of orbs.
Yep.
These are soaked. You're gonna place them where your raid leader tells you to, and you're gonna rotate and soak the orbs. The next set of orbs are the ones you leave up. So these ones are the last set. They're super easy. You just literally walk 3 feet and you're done. So at this point, you're probably gonna be super low health because everyone's panicking. You wanna try and use anything you fucking have left. If you need to rely on caught, you rely on caught, but that's it. You just try and stay alive here. So it's not on this, but I'll go to my YouTube video, even though it's kind of scuffed, just to show you the idea of what it is. Okay, so same part of the fight here.
Yep.
Okay. So wait, too far. Okay, so these set of orbs, the last set of orbs that come out. Yep. These you drop literally on the extremities of the platform and you just burn the boss. Your first kill is hopefully not like this, but if it ends up being like this, the goal here is to avoid Massacre, and the last second you want to run into the pizza shit over here.
Yep.
So you don't die to the fucking Ravage. And then the boss should die. If you have Necrolords, GG. But
so don't get hit by Ravage like you just did.
Yeah, don't do what I did. 1000%.
Le Pip.
Le Pip, please. Le Pip and Villasana like single-handedly won that fight for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the big learning moments I struggled with was getting the timings down for P1. So your combustion timings and like feeling out when you should be shifting powering and stuff. That was pretty important. You'll get the hang of that really quick because you'll be pulling P1 a lot. A learning curve recently was Disciplinary Command on this fight. I didn't play with it until this week. But you'll feel it out. It actually, the timings feel really good on this fight for Disciplinary Command. I feel they're not difficult at all. It's very obvious when you should be popping it.
Yeah.
While you're learning, maybe not so much, but when you get the hang of like P1 at least, yeah, it should feel fairly strong. The second important thing is the Sincere, or not Sincere, sorry, Gloom Veil, the add. That's the second most important thing. So you either pop your pot on Sincere if you're combusting Sincere, or you're gonna pop your pot on Gloom Veil. I feel like Gloom Veil is more worth because you get a full combust off if you're assigned to the same one I am. Getting used to taking that gate and popping badge, altar, potion, setting up your combustion, that you'll see when you get there. It's gonna feel a little weird, but it's probably the best feeling part about the boss when you get the hang of it. So you literally just plant your feet and you run. What's not shown in this video, by the way, is getting Impale. I didn't go over that actually. I'll try to find a pull where I did get Impale on Gloom Veil. It's tricky, and it took me a little bit to get the hang of. If you get Impale on Gloom Veil.
Yep.
So your alter time, it doesn't matter if you get Impale or not. Your alter time that you pop before you pop Combustion will last long enough for Impale 4 to go off. So even if you get Impale 4, rest assured your alter time that you currently have up will save you. So I got Impale here. This is perfect. Okay. Let's slow this down some more. Okay, so when you get Impale on Gloom Veil, the thing about Gloom Veil is she has a cloud around her. If you're outside of the cloud, you can't hit the boss. So you need to be in the cloud, but you can't be in the group with Impale. So the goal here is, if everyone's doing it properly, everyone's stacked in the same point on Gloom Veil. You want to step away from the group, ideally be in your Rune of Power and inside the cloud, and not cleave anyone with Impale. So I don't think, yeah, I kind of inched it here. I was really close, but anyway. So I still have alter up, I think. Yeah, I do. Perfect. Fuck, I'm actually pro, kind of. Okay. So you pop alter, you pop combustion. You can stay in your range of Rune of Power here and still hit the boss with Impale. As long as you are nowhere near the group with Impale, you're fine. This is the goal. Don't blink away from the boss and put Impale like off to Africa.
Okay. You
want to be near the boss. Let Impale go off. Even if you're Impale 4, you have time with your alter. As soon as Impale hits you, it chunks, you fucking alter right back, full health.
Yep.
That's why it's important to alter when you hit the platform, because the other thing I didn't say was that when you go to Gloom Veil's platform, there's an explosion that the boss is doing, and you're most likely going to get hit by it, which is why we're dropping Link. You can alter that damage too. So the boss does this. The boss does a massive AOE, and if you're in range, it's going to chunk you. But if you alter at full health when you land on the platform, and after you get hit by Impale, you'll alter back to full health.
Oh yeah, because it's the boss does the pull in, he does the Hand of Destruction cast. You
exactly.
Yeah, so you're not avoiding all the damage. From it. Yeah, okay.
But when you land on the platform, you'll still be full health. The Hand of Destruction hasn't gone off yet, so you're good.
Yeah.
Just make sure you alter before the Hand of Destruction. You don't want to alter at like 50% health. So make sure you alter when you land. So the sequence here I've come accustomed to is Mirror Images, Nova, to proc Display Command. You port over, you badge, potion, alter time immediately, or alter and ideally when you get into position, and then you go right into combustion. So I've got alter up. I've got 10 seconds of fucking whatever. Impale comes out, even if it's the last Impale to come out. If let's say it goes 1, 2, 3, and you get the 4th. You're still totally fine.
Yep. Okay. It's good to know.
Yeah. So pop your combustion. If Impale comes out, you don't need to rush. You can chill. If you're Impale 1, maybe like hustle a little bit. But if you're Impale, just sidestep a couple of feet, make sure no one's near you. And then your alter time will bring you back to full health. The important thing here is that this bitch dies fast. She needs to die before the boss casts Hand of Destruction, which is in 20 seconds. You will encounter pulls where this ad did not get Racking Pain. Racking Pain makes it take a ton more damage. If you don't get Racking Pain, the ad doesn't die. So it needs to get Racking Pain. But yeah, combust this thing. It's fun. So this probably feels the best out of the entire fight, personally.
Sweet.
And the third thing is just the overlap. The overlap fucking blows. It's not very fun. Last phase in general, honestly, out of the entire fight, I hate last phase. Phase 3 is it feels like shit. Yeah, the whole thing.
It's just super hectic.
It's not hectic. You can't pop combustion properly. You don't feel good about any combustion. All of them feel scuffed, except the first one when you zone in, but they all feel like shit.
All right.
Yeah, they're all shitty. And then you couple that with phase 1 lag. It's terrible. Yep. Feels like trash. Any questions?
Not right now, actually.
We haven't even got to the boss yet. But no, I mean, you pull a couple pulls, but
we did like 3 pulls, and they're kind of like meme pulls.
I like the fight in general. I think you'll walk out of it thinking that it's a good fight too.
Yeah,
it's fun. There's nothing. Oh shit. Okay, tips. This is the tip portion, Tom. You ready?
Nice. Okay. Great.
All right. Night Hunters. So in P1, there's nothing to really do damage to you aside from Blood Price, the one that you take.
Yep.
Alter Time. Only thing you should use them on is Night Hunters. There's nothing else you should use alter time on.
Because it doesn't work on Blood Prices.
No, it doesn't do shit.
Right? Yeah.
So if you know that you're running to your spot late and there's probably not going to be many people in you because you fucked up or something, alter it.
Yep.
So you can pop alter immediately. Like you don't have to pop it like before you get Night Hunter and after. Like if you get Night Hunter and you're out of position, you don't have a shimmer charge, you're like running to melee to put your line in place, alter before the Night Hunter hits you while you're at like 90% health. It's going to drop you to like 30 and then alter right back.
But then you're just gonna
What else? If you want to parse, use Living Bomb. I played with it for one night. It felt like trash. I didn't like it at all.
Not good. Okay.
No, I mean you can. It does do damage to the things, but you're never going to use Living Bomb P2 and you're never going to use it P3.
Yeah.
You're most likely going to use Flame Strike P2 if you're doing AoE stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It's up to you. You pick.
Well, it's just like, I mean, N'Zoth, you kind of just used it at one point, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Or Carapace even. You just used it for one point, and that's it.
I personally don't see a point. I feel like Flame Pouch is way more useful.
Yeah.
If you're having trouble killing the ads from Cleansing Pain in P1, you can use Flame Pouch with Flame Strike. It's fine.
Okay.
Just keep in mind if you're combusting, you're going to be combusting Cleansing Pain 1. Don't Flame Strike too much between Cleansing Pain 1 and 3 because you won't get combust back.
You need the combust back.
Yeah, you do. Well, do you know what you're like? How far did you guys get with Sire so far?
Like the second pizza slice.
The second one. Okay, so you combusted first and third.
Yes.
Okay. Did it feel good?
Yeah.
Okay.
we did 3 pulls and we're like, hey, we got the second pizza slice. Okay, we're done. Like,
I mean, no, that's good though. At least you experienced it firsthand. That's good.
Yeah.
Nothing else, I don't think. Warlocks suck at running lines. That's a thing. I mean, ours do. I don't know if yours do, but ours do. What else? Remember that standing on top of somebody else with Cleansing Pain will remove more than one stack. If you have one stack and you stack on somebody else, you will die instantly. It will kill you. If you have 0 stacks and you soak Cleansing Pain, you will die immediately. There's no avoiding it. You die. If you soak Cleansing, like if you're supposed to stack on somebody, let's say you're supposed to stack on me, right? And you have one stack of that debuff, you'll die.
Okay.
So if you're assigned to stack on somebody and you have less stacks than you're supposed to, you have to call it out. I cannot stack on you because I will die.
Yeah.
Like it happens sometimes. And you'll see, like, if you're used to jumping during combustion and you're supposed to stack on people, don't jump during combustion. Because the boss will fuck you. Like you will not get your stacks removed and you'll have to soak like a bunch more Cleansing Pains and it fucks everybody. Just don't jump.
Okay.
You know if I'm experienced?
Yes. It happened. It happened for like 50 pulls. I was like, why am I not getting my stacks off? And I'm like, oh, it's because I'm fucking jumping.
So is there so you do 3 in the first one, 1 in the second one, and then 2?
You start with 6. You start with 6 stacks. I removed 3 on the first Cleansing Pain.
Yeah.
I removed 1 on the second.
Yep.
And me and Osiris stack on the third for the 2.
Okay.
So by Cleansing Pain 3, I have 0 stacks.
Okay. Because does that stacking on somebody, does that like spawn more ads?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay.
It spawns double the amount of ads. Yeah.
That's okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. The reason me and Osiris did it was because we wanted to combust. I'll show you. we wanted to combust the Walk of Shame. So initially in progress, like while we were progressing, we were missing boss damage. And we said, okay, when we do the Walk of Shame, we'll have 0 stacks and we'll be able to combust the boss at 70.5, and we'll drop him to like 68.5 by the time the Walk of Shame is done. Which means we had an extra 1% damage on the boss.
Yep.
It you know, naturally happened where we had more boss damage, so we didn't need to do it anymore, but we still kept the same kind of plan. They might tell you not to get 0 stacks, by the way. You might have to eat every cleansing pain and it might suck dick. Who knows?
No, we're doing 0 stacks.
Oh, you are? Okay,
mages.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I believe I am melee group in P3. I mean, that could get changed, but it's
beautiful. So I can help you like verbatim.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good.
Yep.
So you're getting 0 stacks by the time 3rd cleansing pain happens?
I don't exactly know that yet.
Well, hopefully, because it makes sense.
Yeah.
It feels so good. P1 feels amazing as a fire mage with this setup. Like, I don't know about any other setup, but this setup feels great. You literally just sit there and blast the whole time. There's nothing special. Yeah, don't jump during combustion for P1. Right. If you're supposed to stack, it will not remove stacks consistently. You'll see. It sucks. And sometimes you end up not stacking on somebody and you have an extra stack that you don't need to. The best person to stack on is probably your tank. Yeah, but you have to ask, like, make sure you call it out, like, hey, can I stack on you for this? Like, Argo is my go-to to stack on if I have too many stacks.
Okay.
Because he can just eat that shit.
Yep.
Yeah. You want to save Ice Block, by the way. I didn't mention that. Don't use Ice Block P1. Don't solo soak. Never solo soak P1. There's literally 0 point to it. You can soak the lines easily. There's no point in using your Ice Block for it. Like, if you have to Ice Block something, it needs to be Impale, and it needs to be up for P3. Otherwise, you just don't survive. Like, you just don't live P3 without Ice Block. Like, you need it.
All right.
Yep. That's it. Potions, your raid leader will probably tell you.
Yep.
What else? You can use Soul Shape liberally if you're going to 0 stacks. You don't need to worry about having to shift during the march. You can just use it to like reposition and do whatever.
Yep.
I
think I'll be super used to using it on heroic, because you just get 3 stacks and then you Soul Shape it. But
oh, dude, you'll see how good it feels to fucking not have to walk anywhere during March. It's so great, dude. You just sit there and fucking blast. You don't have to move anywhere. You can stand right in the red and you get sucked in, and it's totally fine.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah. Don't use Health Pot, Health Stone. I mean, during progress, obviously, but like when you're really trying to get to the end phase, don't use Health Pot, Health Stone during P1 if you can avoid it. Like, if you're getting hit by something too hard, it's probably because you did something wrong or someone didn't soak a line. You should never really drop to anything significant where you have to Health Pot, Health Stone.
Yep.
That's it. Pretty sure that's it.
I think our raid leader said I think he's gonna release like a sheet showing when we're soaking cleansing pains.
Good.
So.
That's good. I'll screenshot my RT note against Osiris. He probably doesn't want me to do that, but I'll do it anyway, and I'll share it with you just to give you an idea of like what the soaks look like, and so you can kind of visualize like how it works and the timings and stuff. Side note for your knowledge, druids can get the 0 stacks and they can roar the group when you get marched.
Yep.
So I don't know if you're doing that. So
probably, I think we're dropping a druid to 0 as well.
Okay, perfect. So the druids roar by the time you get marched and everyone gets walked in. It's fine. If your Sincere isn't dying fast enough, it's probably because the ranged people on the melee ad are not coming off and DPSing your ad. So if you're not supposed to combust that ad, like, don't feel pressured to combust it. You don't have to. Like, if you're not assigned to combust that ad, if your raid leader tells you, okay, we need to combust this ad, like, you don't need to combust that ad. People just need to swap to it. So if you want to, you know, it gives you more ammunition to just say like, hey, like people just aren't switching or whatever.
Yeah. I think we will have 3 Marks Hunters, which will be really good for that. I think 2 or 3. I'm not sure what we're bringing yet.
That's really good. Let me link you this.
All right.
Just so you have it on hand.
Yep.
And that's it. I'm done. My rant is over.
Awesome.
Chat.
All right.
Any questions? By the way, I disclaimer.
Yep.
I definitely don't think I've done as well as I can do on this fight. I feel like I can do so much more. We haven't gotten like a clean kill yet, and we haven't gotten a clean pull where I felt confident, like with my damage. Like at the beginning of the night, I was fucking pumping, and then as the night progressed, like it just got worse and worse and worse. The fight can be really fucking good as a fire mage. Like you can do like top tier damage if you're really focusing on like planting your feet, popping combustion properly, getting your opening rotation like you can do serious amounts of damage. The stars kind of need to align though. Like you don't get targeted by impale too much. You can sit there and spam fireballs without getting targeted by night hunters. Like there's a bunch of things that need to fall, kind of the stars need to align. But the make it or break it for this fight as a fire mage is going to be last phase, what you're assigned to, how you handle it, how much shit you get targeted by. You know, if you get targeted by every single orb, if you get fucking, I don't know, it's rough. What makes it easy for mage, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. What makes it easy for mages is, for these parts here in phase 3, don't be in the melee area for the massacre or the orbs. It's really fucking hectic. Give them room. Try to stay back towards where the center of the room is. It makes it a lot easier for you to kind of dodge shit, and it also allows you kind of to just like mindlessly scorch spam, or even just sit there and fireball because you have less shit being targeted in that area. So just try to stay kind of towards where the impales are, but just keep in mind that impales are going to come there, and you need to make sure you're not getting hit by that. And that's it. Sorry, what were you saying?
I forget.
F, sorry. A lot of these things can be applied to heroic too. This is going to turn into a YouTube video, but same concepts apply for heroic. A lot of this stuff, aside from like the assignments and like the mythic mechanics.
Awesome. Wow, it's 9:30.
Yep.
It's good. It's a good chat though.
Yeah, that was good.